Whoops.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 128 of Nintendo Unleashed, BlazKick's weekly Nintendo podcast. I'm Noah, and I'm here with Connor.
Hi there.
Unfortunately, Armz could not make it today. We're not sure where he is. We're hoping we're going to be able to get two back-to-back full crew episodes, but next time we'll try to restart that streak. Anyway, this week we've got a fair amount of stuff to talk about. A pretty major Switch update came out, as well as some news on Pokemon Go, as well as Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and the future of the franchise. And actually, if you stay tuned to this episode, if you listen throughout, we're going to be having a code to download the Marshadow Pokemon. And does that work with just Sun and Moon? Or any of the...
it's just
okay.
Sun and Moon.
Yeah, so if you're interested in that, definitely be sure to listen throughout. We're not going to tell you what it is. You have to be a vigilant listener.
I think it might be North America only. I don't see anything on the card mentioning a region, but it might be region locked. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so if you try it and you don't live in America and it doesn't work, either someone already has it or that's the reason. But anyway, give it a shot regardless. Anyway, like always, we're going to dive right in by talking about what we've sort of been playing over the past week. Connor, what's it been for you?
I almost finished Danganronpa V3. I finished the final trial, but I was too tired last night to finish the post-game and ending stuff. And I have an essay to write after this and then edit the podcast, so I'm not sure when I'm going to finish it. Hopefully I'll find some time this weekend. It was certainly something, that final trial.
Yeah,
I'll just say that.
I've heard a lot about that in the ending. I don't know any specifics, but I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, V2 is one of the games I'm hoping to start next once I beat my current stuff. So, just two.
V in V3 actually means something.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't expecting. Like, they kept marketing it as meaning victory, but it has another meaning.
Okay.
To do at the end.
I assumed it was just a version. Cool.
I think the original reason they had done that was because there's the Danganronpa 3 anime that has nothing to do with the game.
Yeah. To differentiate.
So it would be confusing if there were two Danganronpa 3s that had nothing to do with each other.
Right. Anyway, cool. So that's it for you pretty much?
Yeah, other than that, I also, City Skylines released new DLC, and I didn't have too much of a chance to play around with that, but I did play it a little bit. It's
cool.
An environmental thing, so there's a bunch of like green energy related stuff now, and like you can have special buses that biofuel buses, and some of your people can get electric cars, and you can make houses and other buildings that are self-sustaining. So they have like solar panels on them and stuff.
Nice. Fun. I've never really gotten into a city building simulator like that. Like the only one I really ever tried was I think I like SimCity on the Wii. But aside from that, never really checked it out. And do you play it on PS4?
PC.
PC. Okay. I think there's a PS4 version as well. But yeah, cool.
Yeah, I think it was just released. The console versions so far only have the After Dark DLC included in the game, and nothing else is released.
Gotcha.
So I wouldn't really say it's not worth it if you really want a city building game, because the base game's still pretty good, but just the combination of some of the stuff added in future DLC, as well as mods in general, because the game supports the Steam Workshop, really makes City Skylines probably why I've put over 100 hours into it since July.
Nice. Cool. I last week, I forget if I had started Oxenfree yet, but I think I might have started like a day after we recorded. So I bought and played that on Switch. It's pretty short, but I really enjoyed it. The only issue I had with the Switch port, shut up. The only issue I had with the Switch port, and I'm not sure if this is true for all versions, but the loading times between areas could be quite long. It was a really good port. In handheld mode, you could either use button controls or touch controls, mimicking sort of the like iPad version and iPhone version. And in terms of like the core game itself, I'd heard a lot about how it does dialogue choices and narrative and stuff like that, and I ended up really enjoying that. The way it works is, unlike adventure games like Telltale, where moving sequences and dialogue sequences are separate, here it's all sort of interwoven. So you can always move with the left stick, and you can always select dialogue choices with the face buttons. You can always be doing things while you're selecting dialogue, so it fits in well with the flow of the gameplay. Additionally, the story itself is great. Witty dialogue, good voice acting. Voice acting was kind of weird at first, but I got used to it. And it feels like the choices you make actually matter. Like there are times when there are, conflicts between your characters and you have to take a side in that kind of thing. And it feels like your choices actually matter there. So very enjoyable. It seems like it definitely encourages a second playthrough, but I think I'm going to take a bit of a break before doing that, just because I don't want to get burnt out on it. But I very much enjoyed what I played. It's definitely a pretty scary game. It's not like terrifying, but it's definitely spooky throughout, fitting for the month. Another spooky game. I started Resident Evil 4 on PS4. I played, I think, about 2 hours so far. And some people were, it definitely shows its age, but at the same time, it's very fun. The only exposure I've had to Resident Evil was the demo for Resident Evil Revelations. And actually, I own the game on Wii U, but I haven't played a ton of it. But I've basic level of familiarity with how the series works. Definitely the whole ammo scarcity thing is definitely showing its head, and that seems like it's definitely a characteristic of the series. Something which has certainly made me a bit anxious, but that's kind of the point, I guess. So it's been doing its job well. Of course, I've encountered the iconic shopkeeper, so it's been fun. And today, or rather last night, I started Uncharted Lost Legacy on PS4. I think I'm about halfway through, probably. I sort of just passed this giant open area that the game is touting as like a new thing.
Yeah.
So probably around halfway-ish. Hoping to beat it today.
Worst part of the game.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like I can applaud Naughty Dog for trying to make something a bit more open-ended, but it can be a bit... See, the way they design environments works really well for linear games because dense environments, and when you have these linear segments, they design it such that it's easy to tell where to go. But when you have this huge environment that's so visually dense, it could just be difficult to navigate. Granted, they do give you a map for that area. If it weren't for that map, I don't know how you would do that area.
It's not even that good at map, too. Like, it would be a lot nicer if there was a mini map in the bottom of the screen.
Mm-hmm. I do like that they mark off places you've been to, so there are some good things about the map. There's also this cool optional side quest, which I decided not to do, but I couldn't even fathom picking up like 12 tokens throughout that area. I know they're shown on the map, but still, it's ridiculous.
It was pretty easy. I mean, you're already past it, but once you get the thing where it shows where they are on the map, it was pretty easy to find them.
Yeah. There were a couple of the tokens that I accidentally got. One was actually really fun where we had to activate this thing and then swing from like water fountain to water fountain and landing on them. I don't know if you remember that. That was enjoyable. I did it thinking it was going to like unlock the tower. Well, what was funny is, so I went to all 3 temples without climbing the tower first, which I don't think is what you're supposed to do. And it was funny because when I climbed the tower, they were talking about like, oh great, it's showing us these areas we've like already been to. It's funny because I did the water fountain thing after I did all 3 temples thinking it would unlock the tower, but I was like, wait, I just got a token, but then I realized you can just climb the tower. So I wasted a bit of time there, but it was still fun. It was cool how they modified the dialogue to show like, oh, we've already been here. Why do we care? So, the area definitely has some upsides, but for the most part, it's just kind of annoying. And it's a very long chapter too. At least it felt that way. Anyway, all right. So the Nintendo download for this week, as it's been for pretty much every week in the past month, is very busy for the Switch eShop. Not very well paced out, but hey, on the other hand, gives you a lot of options. First off, in terms of Switch retail downloads, we have Fire Emblem Warriors, which is also a new 3DS, and this is available now. I haven't heard. I mean, I've heard sort of mixed impressions on this game, similar to similar to Hyrule Warriors, where if you enjoy the source material a lot, you'll probably enjoy it, but if you don't care about it, it might just seem boring. We also have Just Dance 2018, not available until October 24th, but amazing that the Switch. I just think it's so funny. The Switch got 2 Just Dance games in its first year, and it's also amazing that the Wii is still getting them.
Rip Mario Odyssey has to compete with Just Dance in the same week. Oh
yeah, Mario's screwed. Switch eShop exclusives, Spelunker Party, not to be confused with Spelunky. Definitely sounds like it's trying to cash in a little bit, though. It's a single or multiplayer game from Square Enix. There's a demo available. We have This Is the Police, which apparently the main character has the same voice actor as Duke Nukem. It actually looks pretty cool. You have to face moral dilemmas and stuff as you go. I looked at some screenshots. Definitely looks like a slower pace type game, potentially interesting. I got Papers, Please vibes almost. The Mummy Demastered, which is such a bizarre release to me. It's from Way Forward, so it's a very Metroidvania type thing. But it's based on the recent Mummy reboot, but it seems like that's the only thing it's associated with is the name. Because normally for a movie like that, you just get a cheap tie-in, but this seems like an actual game with effort put into it. Hopefully it's good.
Well, this is Way Forward.
That's true, yeah. So this is available October 24th, same day as Just Dance. Probably better than Just Dance. Jackbox Party Pack 4 now available. I'll definitely be picking this one up. Maybe we'll be able to stream it together at some point. Hoping to play this evening with my friends. And again, it's $25. What I don't know is if there is a discount. Because what they did with the previous entries were, all 3 of them were made available on the Switch, and it was if you bought one, you could get any of the others 20% off. I don't know if that discount applies to this. I hope it does, but I'll be picking it up regardless. Also, we have the Count Lucanor, which is reportedly a mystery and horror adventure. There's another mystery horror adventure, I think not out this week, I saw called Don't Knock Twice, which looks to be a first-person type thing. We have Elliot Quest, which first released on Wii U. It definitely gives me classic Zelda vibes and almost a little bit of original Kid Icarus. Night Terrors, but not night as in the opposite of day. Night as in the military ranking in the Middle Ages. Siberia, which appears to be a rather old adventure game with creepy PlayStation-esque pre-rendered visuals. Party Golf, which apparently has Twitch integration. I don't know if you can stream. That's kind of cool. It reminds me of Flappy Golf, if you guys are familiar with that app. There's a game, I believe it's pronounced Jidge, but the way it's stylized looks like Judge. It's spelled Jydge, and it's stylized like Judge, but I guess it's pronounced Jidge. Top-down shooter, cybernetic style. Few more games, so I'm just going to run them off. Robo Army, Revenant Saga, and Super Ping Pong Trickshot, all available this week. That is a lot of games. The Switch eShop is not slowing down, it would appear. And as I mentioned, the Fire Emblem Warriors game is also available on new 3DS, and the Season Pass is now available for $20. And of course, Just Dance, also available as a Wii U retail download, so yay. Anyway, pick of the week, I'm probably just going to have to go with Jackbox Party Pack 4. This is not a game for everyone, but if you have the right people, it's fantastic. If you know you're going to be having parties, it's really a fantastic party game. I think it can be a bit awkward playing this game with family members from personal experience, but with friends, it's fantastic. Like-minded friends.
Yeah, you need the same sense of humor.
Yeah, if it can get awkward fast if you don't have the same sense of humor.
It doesn't really matter what that type of humor is. It could be potty humor, it could be racist if you want to. It could be anything, but you just need this. It's not like Cards Against Humanity where you need a specific type of humor. Mm-hmm. It's just you all need the same type of humor.
Yeah, that's really it. So yeah, I have a friend group who all has this very similar sense of humor, and it's great with them. But trying to play with my cousins and aunts and uncles was just a terrible experience. Anyway, so yeah, that's pick of the week. And I actually think I have one more pick of the week. There's this game for the Nintendo Switch called Armz. And it actually seems to have a new release called The Human Form of Armz.
What's up?
And actually, they've added the Jump Up Superstar song to Armz too. So finally, Armz is here.
Yeah.
I lied.
I was just jamming out to that song. I couldn't hear the notifications that you guys were going to record. So
that's all right. It happens. Did you buy the iTunes release of Jump
Yes, I did. I did.
Awesome. Very nice. Anyway, earlier I lied. Armz is actually here. So welcome, Armz.
Yeah.
Not sure how much you just heard, but we just finished our Nintendo download. I don't. Excuse me, I can't say this name. Jackbox Party Pack 4 is out, so hopefully we'll be able to all play those games together sometime.
What games does that include?
I don't know if you remember Fibbage, but it has Fibbage 3, and it has 4 other original games.
Okay.
A bunch of new stuff.
Ooh. Did you buy it?
Not yet, but I'm going to. I'm having a party tonight, so I'll play it then.
Okay.
I'll give my impressions.
That's actually a really good party game. I mean, it's
Indeed.
just a party game in general.
Yeah, it is quite good.
Did you guys play, or did you guys buy Fire Emblem? Because that came out last week too. Oh.
It sounded like you did. Do you have some impressions for us?
Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. That were my impressions.
Awesome.
I mean, it looks really good. I like HD Corin. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you play? Now, I'm actually curious about a few things. Did you play TV or handheld mode?
TV.
Okay. Did you try performance mode?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Because I don't know if you're familiar, but you can play in. So normally the game is 1080p, 30 frames per second, but you can actually make it 720, 60.
Okay. I didn't.
Personally, that seems like a really enticing option. So definitely give that a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I played it for like an hour. I enjoyed it, which was weird because I didn't enjoy Hyrule Warriors. Like, I didn't feel it,
Yeah.
I think the Warrior games, at least for me, fits a lot better with Fire Emblem, because they're already like knights and stuff,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, fits the theme well.
Yeah. Plus, the music is really good.
That too. The music. The music in both games is pretty incredible, but yeah. So this is one game I'm having such an emotional journey with, because when it was first sort of rumored that we were going to get this game, I was like, yeah. And then we saw the teaser in January, and I was like, double yeah. But then we saw the first gameplay at E3, and I wanted to throw up in my mouth. And like I was sort of negative as we were coming up towards it, but now that it's out, I'm kind of tempted for a few reasons. One, there's that 60 frames mode. 2, it seems like a great game to have like in portable mode. And 3, the DLC, they said they're gonna have Tharja and Olivia, so I'm like, tempting offer.
Dude, I had it pre-ordered. I had it pre-ordered before it came out.
Did you get the limited edition or like?
Limited. Cool. So I had it pre-ordered. I was gonna cancel it, but then I heard about Tharja. I'm like, I'm gonna keep it.
Do you know if the limited edition comes with the season pass?
No season pass. It comes with soundtrack for the game, like some artwork, cards, and a poster.
Fun. And a cool box.
And the box. Although mine arrived damaged, so I was like, never mind.
Thanks, Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. Amazon.
There's also I don't know if you thought this ended up being fixed, but I remember back at, I think it was E3, you were complaining about the dub, Noah. So the dub was disgusting, but they added, you can now download the Japanese voices.
Yeah, dude, I want to do that because the dub is really disgusting.
Yeah, it's like 4 kids level.
My god, it's awful, man. Yeah. It's awful. Yeah,
so,
I'm about to download that. I'm on my Switch downloading that right now.
You have to download it, but luckily it is an option if you really don't like that dub but want to play the game.
It was awful. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say anything because spoilers, I guess. But yeah, I'm with Noah. It's like 4 kids level.
Yeah. See, if I get the game, I'll be downloading that pack immediately, I think. Yeah, for me, another game that's coming out that's takes a similar approach is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. They haven't said anything about a pack for that game, but from what I've heard, a lot of the voice acting in the initial trailers are weird, but in recent gameplay, like it has that charm from Xenoblade 1 with like the all the English and British accents and stuff like that. It sounds like they use some from different regions too. One of them almost sounds like Scottish or something. So actually, I think that voice acting is like really charming for this. They're just like, no, my sister.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just,
exactly.
it's very. It sounds very juvenile.
Yeah.
So not sure how that happened, but you can download Japanese voices, which are hopefully better. I would imagine anything is better than what we have now. So,
yeah, I haven't heard them, so I don't know. But
no, but they're bad. They're bad in English.
They're very bad.
Yeah.
No, I mean the Japanese ones.
Oh, yeah, right. Anyway, moving into some of our news stories. First up, Limited Run Games, which is a publisher that, well, their title is pretty self-explanatory. They do limited runs of games, specifically usually for like indie titles and stuff. They've finally gotten sort of the credentials to be Switch publishers, and their first release was in 2018.
Just to add on to their description, they take digital-only games and release them as physical.
Yeah.
So far, I'm pretty sure they've only done PS4 and Vita.
Was there Wii U stuff? I forget.
No. However, they did mention in a tweet that Wii U fans should stay tuned.
Interesting. Wow, a lot of them out there, I bet.
But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, they're online only. Like they don't put them to store. Not even Amazon. Okay. It's whatever their website is. You can probably find it just typing limited run games on Google.
Is it just a download code in the box, or do they do a disc? How do they do it?
I'm pretty sure it's a disc or cartridge.
Awesome, sweet. So yeah, I'm personally looking forward to that. There are certainly some indie titles that I would be very willing to pick up on Switch. Like SteamWorld League 2, I'd buy instantly again. Very good game. So that's good news. Connor, do you know if you've bought any games from them?
I haven't. They announced a partnership with Sekai Project like a year ago, and I was gonna buy Fault Milestone 1 when that released, but they haven't released it yet. So
fair. Anyway, so yeah, not much to say there. Definitely good to see the Switch getting that support, which the Wii U isn't getting until like soon. Another similar thing we don't have listed, but Switch games are starting to roll out in select Redbox kiosks. Connor, I don't know if you guys have those in Canada.
Yeah, we do. They're in like Walmart.
Nice. Yeah, so
Switch games?
Yeah. Now, currently it's only in select locations, but I'm hoping that it does well and they roll it out because that would be awesome. And it's kind of weird because Redbox is like a disc-based service, so it's like
that's what I was like. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you remember last year? Do you guys know how a lot of people were tricking Redbox into like they basically stole the games?
Just did they like put another disc in, or how?
No, dude. They would get the disc, right?
Right.
And you know how I don't know if you've rented games from them before or movies, but they have like a barcode.
Yeah, like a QR looking type thing.
Yeah. So like some people would just like photocopy the disc, put a paper on it. And
oh my god.
Yeah, and then some people would rent like Uncharted and they would just get the paper. So
wow.
Bad, man. Yeah.
It sucks. Well, I rented Uncharted and luckily I didn't just get the paper. Because I'm playing Lost Legacy.
You rented Lost Legacy?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm playing it today.
Yeah. It's good?
It's a good game. It's a good game. Yeah.
Short game? Because I need a short game.
Yeah, it's a short game. It's shorter than 4, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty short.
By the way, if you want a short game, do you have an Xbox One by any chance?
Cuphead, yeah, I do.
Okay, no, I wasn't going to say Cuphead. I was going to say Oxenfree because it's really good. I was talking about it earlier. It's like a 4-hour-long adventure game. Really good. Very spooky.
Oh, spooky. I want spooky games. Oh, I've been playing South Park.
Oh, nice. How's that?
Yeah. It's different from the first one.
How so? Like gameplay wise?
No, just the gameplay.
Okay.
Because I mean everything is the same, South Park.
Right.
But on the first one was more like Paper Mario.
Mm-hmm.
This one's a strategy RPG.
Oh, that's weird. So more like Fire Emblem-y?
Yeah, it is because I mean you have grids. You have to like plan your attacks and stuff.
Weird.
So it takes more time to actually get through like a match than just like spam everything like Paper Mario.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's kind of different, but I like it. It's
Cool.
still self work.
No, it's cool that they changed it up. I assumed it was just going to be the same style.
Yeah.
It's kind of
So
weird
that
that
was
Ubisoft's done 2 cartoony strategy games so close to each other, though.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Mario?
Yeah, Rabbids. Yeah.
How's that game, by the way? I was
Oh,
thinking
it's actually very good. I don't know if you saw
Yeah.
impressions. Like you might have been, like not sort of around when all that went down, but really good reviews. Is number 7 in September for sales for all platforms. Really good. I have it.
Okay. So do you think I should get it or should I just wait after Mario? Because I mean Mario's next week.
Wait till after Mario Odyssey because Mario Odyssey is going to blow every other game that comes out this year out of the water, most likely.
Isn't it weird that we got Zelda and Mario in the same year?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And it's the first year of the Switch.
Yeah.
Switch, exactly.
I mean, when we talked about this, how this is like the perfect storm, and it's kind of the perfect storm. We didn't get a traditional Pokemon, but we got Pokken. But that, we know that's coming. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, crazy. And like, not the first time they've launched in the same year. Like back in 2013, we had and Splatoon, and it's ridiculous, and Mario Kart, even though it's not Mario.
Yeah, but still Mario Kart.
It's an insane first year. Anyway, so yeah, back in 2013, 3D World and A Link Between Worlds launched on the same day. But granted, A Link Between Worlds isn't as big of a release as Breath of the Wild, so it's like, but this is...
that was on a handheld, but we're talking about a console, like their home console.
Home console level, that's true,
Yeah.
That's true.
It's crazy.
So really,
it's crazy just really because it's the first year, and it doesn't feel like it's the first year because there's just a lot of games.
Yeah. So the Switch really doing well. I have no doubts that the game will review well. I have no doubts that it'll sell incredibly well and boost the hardware sales even further than they already are. It's going to be a really good holiday season for Nintendo, I think. And I think Pokemon will obviously do quite well on 3DS as well, because it always does, right? Anyway.
Speaking of Switch.
Yeah, speaking of Switch, absolutely. Big update. Yeah, 4.0. Armz, I don't know if you tried this out yet, but they added video capture to Switch finally.
I haven't tried
it. There's a couple weird caveats. First of all, do you have to update the software first? Because I tried doing video capture on Mario Kart 8, and it says like you can't video capture the software, but I know that's one of the games you can do it for.
On this, it says version 1.3.0 and onwards. So
for Mario Kart?
For Mario and Zelda, it's 1.3.0. Armz, it's 3.1.0. And Splatoon 2, it's 1.2.0.
Okay, so I might just have to update Mario Kart. So there's a couple weird things, like I said. Again, first of all, it's a limit of 30 seconds, which isn't terrible, but it's longer on other systems. And Conor just said the thing that's kind of weirder than the 30-second limit is currently only 4 games are supported, with those being all of Nintendo's major first-party releases so far.
It's also confirmed that Mario Odyssey will work.
Oh, they did? Okay. So yeah, I personally haven't really felt used to use this yet, or need to use this. I feel like it would be very helpful in Splatoon for getting like good plays and stuff. I'll be using it a ton in Odyssey, I suspect, alongside the new snapshot mode. Couple other new things in this update as well. There are more icons added, new icons for Mario Odyssey as well as the Breath of the Wild. They added the champions. And now I think they added this feature on 3DS, but now it's on Switch. So if, let's say you and your buddy are playing Mario Kart on a road trip locally, and you both have your Switches, and you have the most updated version of the game and he doesn't, you can like share the update with him via local wireless. So that's kind of cool.
That's actually really convenient.
Yeah. I think you can also transfer. I know there are a couple other things you can transfer. I think you can transfer like saves and stuff to another system. So pretty hefty update. And I think they've said that they were going to expand the video features in the future. Whether that means increasing the length or increasing the number of titles, I'm not sure. I'm hoping it's titles. It would be kind of weird if developers have to update their game to support video capture, but maybe that's just how it's going to be. Seems kind of strange since it's like a native system feature, but whatever.
They also added pre-purchasing.
Oh, that's good. Do we know if that's an option for Odyssey?
It just says pre-purchasing and preloading will now be available on select upcoming games via the eShop.
I imagine not.
Fair enough. Yeah. What's weird is this update came out a couple days before Fire Emblem Warriors, and there was no preload option for that. But I imagine they'll do one for Odyssey. Like that's their big release, so that they kind of have to. I feel like.
Are you guys gonna get it digitally?
No. I'm already dedicated physical personally.
Really? Dude, I was trying to go all digital, but then I suddenly got physical games. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it's like I feel like having the box in my hands for that game is gonna make me so happy. You know?
Really?
Yeah, because it's like it's the next big 3D Mario game since like Galaxy 2. Like I know 3D Land and 3D World happened, but it's just like a more on a grand scale. You know, it's
you gotta lick the cartridges.
No,
that too.
Dude, I have 4 physical games. I have Zelda, Armz, Fire Emblem, and Pokken.
Nice.
Did you lick any of the cartridges?
No.
I only have Zelda and Armz. I rented Cave Story Plus from the library, which is fun, but return that.
But like some games I just want to get like digitally, like Splatoon.
No, I agree. For some games, digitals make sense. For me, Mario Kart was a no-brainer.
Yeah, same.
Because I bought that game physical on Wii U and regretted it so hard. That game is so well suited to download, just because, especially on Switch with the portability. Like I think I talked about earlier this year on the podcast. You know, I would sort of go around in school, and you know, if there's me and other students and we don't have anything to do, I can just be like, you want to play Mario Kart? And I've continued to do that in like the past week. It's just the ability to just do that on the spot and not worrying about having a cartridge with you is awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for some games, it just makes sense.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna get. I was gonna get it digitally, or Mario Odyssey, but I think I'm just gonna get the box because I'm with you. Because it's just another Mario game.
Right.
Plus, the box looks really cool.
Yeah, exactly. Even though they removed, I'm so mad because they originally had the mariachi Mario box, but then they removed it. But whatever, he's still in the game at least. I'm gonna be maining that costume. Anyway, moving on to some Pokemon news that I personally don't think I'm too terribly qualified to talk about. I know that there are new Pokemon being added to Pokemon Go, specifically Gen 3 Ghosts. Are they being added on Halloween, or I don't know the timing?
The Halloween event's currently ongoing. It started October 20th. The new Pokemon added were Pichu and Pikachu wearing witches' hats. Duskull, Dusclops, Sableye, Shuppet, Bayonet, and I think that's it. I think that's all the ghost types. It's just all the ghost types from Hoenn were added. I also saw there's a Mimikyu hat now, and I'm considering playing the game just for that hat.
I think Armz is probably on board with you there.
Yeah.
And do you remember what the turnaround time was between them adding the babies for Gen 2 and them adding the full roster? I feel like maybe 4-ish months or less. I don't know.
I don't remember. When were the babies added? Was it like for an Easter event or something?
I feel like they were added in like December when it was like snowing out and nobody wanted to go outside. I feel like I remember talking about that. So yeah.
Nice to see they completely skipped over the summer months when people were outside, but
perfect choice. So anyway,
you also get candy twice as fast right now because
nice. Sick. Maybe I will actually pick it up. That's always helpful. So anyway, before we move on to our next bit of Pokemon news, we have a bit of a mini giveaway here. As I mentioned earlier in the show, we have a code to get Marshadow on your Sun and Moon game on 3DS, and it'll presumably work on Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon too, but you can't really input the code yet because the game isn't out yet. So, Connor, I'm assuming
the little paper thing just says Sun and Moon. So,
we'll
I mean, the likelihood of this code still being available in November.
Yeah, unless we get 0 views. But then again, you could probably transfer it if you have multiple 3DSs or just bank to.
Yeah, for sure it will be transferable.
Anyway.
So the code is A7-2-Z-4-C-4-W-Z-F-C-8-T-E-Z. and I'll probably
And
put that on the screen.
Uncultured Americans out there, Z is Z. Just saying.
And I'll probably post that on the screen for VidMe and YouTube viewers. Unfortunately, I can't really do that on iTunes or Google Play because I'm not just going to put it in the description.
Yeah, that would be kind of ruining the point. Anyway, we got some interesting new tidbits from a Game Freak interview, I believe, with... Nintendo. Actually, there were a few interviews that came out. There was one with Nintendo Life. There was one, I think, with like Game Informer, maybe.
There's one with Famitsu, but I don't think any new information at all came from that one.
Okay.
And there was also, they just randomly uploaded a trailer that had nothing new.
Nice.
Well, one thing new.
So I think the first thing to get out of the way here, and I think this is something we kind of already knew, but it's just now we're hearing it officially. Knowing that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon will officially be the last main series games on 3DS for Pokemon, and that the next game will be on Switch.
Oh, right, that came from Famitsu, sorry.
Okay, that's fine. So this, again, we already knew main series Switch game was in development from E3, but I guess they didn't confirm that there weren't going to be any more 3DS games, but now they have. And so with that in mind, I think they also said in Famitsu that, like, they're confident that they've finally been able to squeeze all of the juice out of the 3DS's power, as it were, to sort of produce the 3DS Pokemon experience.
And of course, the opposite of what happened when Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were announced. All the 3DS people were like, why are they making Switch games? Why?
Yeah.
Why are they being disloyal to their 3DS fans? They're just trying to make me buy a Switch.
I saw a lot of that salt on Twitter, and I guess the people don't understand how business works, which, hey, not everyone. That's fine.
Say that about any game. However, the Switch is more powerful than the 3DS, so there are advantages to going to the Switch.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the 3DS, you have dual screen advantage, but that's really it.
Yeah.
Armz, you're...
So, I was just gonna mention this out there. So you guys doubt Nintendo will like release a dedicated handheld now, right?
I don't think they will. I think
so it's just gonna be the Switch. That's their only platform right now.
And mobile, of course. Which they haven't been too hot on lately. Where's Animal Crossing?
Forgot about that. Yeah. Forgot about Animal Crossing. It's supposed to come out this year.
Sure is.
I think it makes sense to just have the Switch because it's not like last gen where the Wii U wasn't really selling well, so they were relying on the 3DS. But at the same, so like, why split your development resources, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Plus, the Switch is doing really well.
Yeah. So the next thing, I guess, from the Nintendo Life interview, they mentioned that there's a large post-game quest, they say specifically. Where's it? I'm trying to find it here. I can't find it. I know it was here, but anyway.
I feel like I remember people saying for the first game that there like wasn't a lot to do post-game. So
yeah, all there really was post-game in the original was catching the Ultra Beasts, which were basically just find Looker, or go to the specific building Looker's in, and then he's like, there's been Ultra Beasts found, or there's been this Ultra Beast spotted on one of these two routes, and then you have to go to each route and encounter a few Pokemon, and then eventually the Ultra Beast shows up, and then you have to either catch it with normal Pokeballs or just use a Beast Ball, which almost instantly catches it. It's not a guaranteed catch, though. And he keeps giving you like 10 Beast Balls every time, so it's not like you're ever going to run out. And it's not really that much, and you get a ton of money from it for some reason too. But there's not really much to do, and it was a similar complaint with X and Y. And I think back then, Game Freak said something about most gamers don't even make, or most players don't even make it to the end of the game. So why design a post game when most players aren't going to see it? Which, I don't know, that sounds like kind of bad game design philosophy. Why not make it so people want to get there instead of giving up?
Because they're basically saying, "Oh, our game's not that good enough."
Our game's not good, so why develop?
Yeah.
But
why make a post game? They're not gonna finish it.
But with this one, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, the only people who are gonna buy them are like people really into Pokemon, which means they're gonna finish it. So I can kind of see why they would focus on a post game here opposed to last game. We don't really know what it is though. Just know, oh, here it is. There's a big post story scenario that players can really get into and enjoy. So, they don't really mention what it is, but hopefully it's cool. Like, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire had that quest where you had to go into space and catch Deoxys. So maybe it's just going to be something like that again. Who knows? But hopefully it's something. It's probably not going to be as big as having Kanto in the Johto games, though. So I guess the last thing they've confirmed, which was through that trailer they randomly uploaded, or it might have even been a random tweet, you can catch Mewtwo and other legendary Pokemon in this game, which that's been a thing in like all the sequel things since Platinum, where you could catch the legendary birds and the Reggie trio, and then the Black 2 and White 2 had Cresselia, Uxie Mesprit, and I think Heatran. And what's it called? Oh yeah, Heart Gold Soul Silver also had the Hoenn, Latios, Latias, Groudon, Kyogre, and Groudon. And then Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire had, I'm pretty sure, like every legendary Pokemon. So that's just kind of a continuation thing, I guess, of that.
Nice. Yeah, definitely cool to see them stepping their game up from the first. Whether or not they held back stuff from the original to make this one better, I'm not sure. But regardless, improvement is improvement. So, anyway, I think that's all of the news to come out of the interviews, right?
I think so. I might have missed something, but it probably wasn't too major if I did.
Anyway, moving on to our poll. Well, first of all, Connor, can you remind us what our poll from last week was, if you have that up?
We asked if you'd rather have a Game Boy Mini or N64 Mini, which the poll was kind of weirdly worded. I don't know why I typed this. Unleashed asks, which would you rather? I mean, like, I guess that's true. But
technically grammatically correct, but
it probably should have been which would you rather have or be made, but whatever. Anyway, 19 votes. N64 Mini got 63%, and Game Boy Mini had 37%. And we got a great reply to that. It wasn't like anyone explaining. It was within like a hour or two of the poll being posted. Someone replied, you're in the minority when your vote doesn't even count.
Oh yeah.
And had N64 Mini 100%, Game Boy Mini with his little check mark next to it showing that's what he voted for, 0%. So that was pretty great.
Shout outs. Good Twitter content. Anyway, our poll for this week is going to be, do you like how Pokemon Go adds Pokemon in waves? So what we mean by that is when they introduce a new generation, like they did with 2 and now 3 coming up, do you appreciate the way they're doing it sort of gradually? So, for instance, with 2, we sort of started with just the babies, and with 3, we're starting with just the ghosts. So do you appreciate this gradual introduction, or would you rather just a dump of all the new Pokemon, essentially, all at once? So, simple yes or no poll this week, and be sure to let us know. Anyway, to round it out for this week, be sure to check us out on VidMe. You can follow us there if you prefer that to YouTube, or if you're listening on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and like this video. And you can also subscribe on iTunes and Google Play Music. Be sure to leave a rating and review. We might read it on the show if it's kind and you give us 5 stars. You can also follow us on Twitter. I'm at Dashy007.
I'm at Double31.
I'm nowhere. We found.
Oh yeah, currently ghosting.
Yeah. I'm Dustin. I'm at BlazeKick Tweet. There you go.
Yeah, and you can find the podcast at Nin Unleashed.
Hey, I just realized last week Armz was here at the start, but had to leave near the end. This time, he was here for the end, but didn't come till after the start.
Coincidence? I think not. And as always, be sure to visit blazekick.com, home for all things guys.
For
Ciao.
all. Bye.
Bye.